Hi everybody, Pen here with Yoga Sizes. I have Laura Martin here. I'm really excited to have her here, where she actually went through the nutrition holistic coaching program, health coaching program that I went through as well. So really excited to have her on. And since in the program we talked about synchronicity and how when you start doing things and you begin to see that other people are doing the same things. And I've been just interviewing a lot of people that have been through the same program at the same place that I went through. So it's pretty cool to meet another person and get to be doing this with them. So welcome. Thank you so much for being on, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Welcome. So Laura, she's a holistic nutrition consultant. She focuses on mindset, hormone balancing, gut health related topics, mental health as well. So I would like for you to, if you could please share with us why you choose nutrition, health, and focusing on hormones, gut health, and mental health.
Yeah, of course. So I run an online nutrition consulting company called Healing to Happy. And the whole name and everything that that embodies is starting from healing and getting to happy via the gut brain connection. And through my own journey and all of that, that's kind of how I dove into it after years of battling depression and disordered eating and orthorexia and all these different, just the whole realm of taking out your mental and emotional well-being out on food and out on your plate and out on your body. I went back in to study it, where I fell in love with this gut brain connection and wanted to learn more about it, because I realized as I was starting to eat better and move my body a little bit more, I also had more mental clarity. I also had better focus. My depression lessened and all that. And so I went on and then became certified in gut health, becoming a gut health specialist, to further along that whole cycle.
Okay, so what are some of the ways that helped you to get over the eating disorders, the depression over the years?
So it started with just understanding nutrition. I have this thing in my life where I like to make peace with my enemy. And that's what sparked my interest in wanting to enroll in IIN, actually, is that I wanted to understand it. I heard all this stuff about nutrition and lifestyle, and I saw what happened within my mom's life and stuff, where she wasn't taking very good care of herself, and just how nutrition is the one way that we can show ourselves some self-respect. But first we need to understand it, because we see all this stuff on Dr. Google that is saying, hey, don't eat fat, move your body, but not too much, drink enough water. Like, well, that one's normal, but like go on all these different diets and all that stuff. So I just wanted to get to the root cause and kind of better understand different, make peace with it at the end of the day.
Okay, so how after going through the program, like compare from before you went through it, during and after, what are the changes that you've experienced during this whole journey?
So before going through it, I was not in a good place. So as I started to learn about the foods and stuff like that, I saw that my relationships began to change. The way I stood was different. The world around me, shifted beyond just what was happening on my plate. Yes, I was eating more fruits and vegetables and all that, but I also, got out of a toxic relationship. I got out of toxic situations. I also amplified things beyond my plate and my lifestyle. I went into a career that I love now, and I was able to start my own company and all of that. And then so after that, I then got into running this whole online nutrition program. And now that's what I do full time. I was, at the time when I was studying, a teacher. And so it's the evolution of it. It's beyond food. It's not just exercising and drinking the green smoothies, but it's the evolution of your own self, right? Like, is that kind of what you experience as well?
Yeah, definitely. So the transition from one job, one career to the other, what was that like? Like from working like in corporate, like outside, uh, going out to work, and then now you're doing this everything online, remotely. Like you can pretty much work anywhere. How was that transition like? What are some of the challenges?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I live in Bangkok now, so I'm in Thailand. Originally from Chicago, and moving here, I was teaching English. And so then transitioning to being my own boss and doing my own thing, it was scary at first. Like, you don't really know what you're doing. I mean, to be honest, I'm still learning, but quite well. And so I started doing that, putting on different workshops and events within Bangkok because it wasn't so much seen here. Health wasn't so, it's just now kind of picking up. It's not like how it is back in America or in Western cultures. It's just kind of new, especially the gut brain connection, because vulnerability and kind of talking about our feelings, that's a scary thing for people to do. So it's creating a space for people to do that, opening up, talking about, hey, this is what I've been through. But yeah, opening up that here in Bangkok, getting rid of like this, like, because I'm in control of my income now, you know, so it's a little bit scary. But it's been the best decision I've ever made for sure.
That's awesome. And you said, I don't know, did you mention how long you've been running this online program, services?
Yeah, so I've been doing this for 3 years now.
3 years now. Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tips that you will give for startups who are starting in health and wellness and they want to do this online?
Tap into the network around you. You definitely want to get involved in your community. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot of coaches out there, but don't be discouraged by that. There are more people, like they say in IIN, there's more people sick than there are coaches. So not sick, but like wanting to get healthy or sick. So just kind of have the leap of faith in yourself, but also treat it like a business. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not, when I first came into it, it was a hobby, and now it's a business. And it is a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of going about it. You have to treat it as such. And so if you are working a corporate job and wanting to get into the consulting, definitely use every spare moment you can until you can get to it, and go out, network, ask questions, get within the communities. There's so many online platforms. Make yourself known. You know, you have to believe in yourself first, but getting out there and standing in front of people and making yourself that authority figure within your market is definitely key.
I love that. That's great tips. Thank you. Those are great tips. So before we go on to like the whole depression, gut health, and hormone balancing topics, just one more question involving like the whole business aspect of the health and wellness field online. So what's your recommendation? I don't know if you're outsourcing. I don't know if you have a team working with you now, but let's just say whether you are or you're not, what's your approach to like when is a good time to start getting other people like working with you, and like what yeah.
Yeah. So the first person I hired on to my team was just a virtual assistant. At that time, it's just someone that can take some blog posts, repurpose everything, put it out into the world, because two hands are better than one. Once you get to the point that you feel like, one, you can afford it, yeah, it's a big one. And two, is it going to be, you have to be able to know what your day-to-day looks like, and you want someone else to be doing that, so then you can redistribute it. But you need to do your research as to having a good team members, people that are on the same mindset that you have, on the same mission, that can hold. And because at the end of the day, your company is your brand, is your little baby. So you need to make sure that your team is something you trust. But yeah, you definitely, when the workload, you can, one, afford it, and two, when the workload just gets to be too much, because when you can learn to delegate the things you know you're not good at, your business just amplifies from there.
That's so true, and that speaks about mindset as well. Because when I first started, I'm like, I'm gonna do everything on my own. I can figure this all
Yeah.
out. I don't have the money to spend on getting other people to do this. But now I'm finally starting in the process of like, getting other people to work with me, starting to trust them, and it becomes so much easier. Like I'll be at work and
Mm-hmm.
then things are getting done. I was like, this is amazing. I should have done this a long time ago. It's like this whole mindset thing. All right, so now transitioning.
Exactly.
Yeah. Excuse me. So now transitioning to the whole mindset and hormone and gut health. So how do you what? So give us some examples or some hormone imbalance things that how do you work with them?
Yeah, for sure. So, so how you can tell that you have a gut imbalance, right, is when you have symptoms that are the normal things that you recognize, which is like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, all of that kind of normal stuff, but as well as like the father of modern medicine, right? He said all disease begins in the gut. And that's so true. So if you have skin flare-ups, if you have hormonal imbalances, like really bad PMS, or you don't have a period, or you have PCOS, or your hair is falling out, or you have hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, if you have autoimmune diseases, all these things can be channeled back to your gut health. I'm a firm, but like I definitely believe that our gut is our first brain, not our second. As well as things like depression and anxiety, like our serotonin, 90% of that is housed within our gut lining. So if you're having like depressive episodes, if you're feeling extra anxious, tuning into what that is, because that's just inflammation in the body. So when you have an inflamed brain, you have an inflamed gut. And when you have an inflamed gut, you have an inflamed brain. And understanding that connection and the power that your foods have on the rest of your body. Like it's not just, hey, I'm bloated, this is what's happening with my digestion. It's everything. And you can tailor it back to your gut and starting from the inside out.
And because in IIN, there's like over 100 dietary theories that we went over or going, well, at least I'm going over right now. So when it comes to, I know based on individuality, right? Like based on your client, you recommend different things, but what are some of the common dietary theories that you'll recommend for your clients when it comes to hormone imbalances?
What are the hormone imbalances?
I know what are some of the common similar dietary theories that like diet that you would recommend for your clients?
Sure. So when people come and suffer from digestive issues or a gut imbalance or anything like that, I'll first start by looking at how many plants are they eating in a day, right? We want to make sure that we have a diet that is rich in fibers and have a healthy balance, because we don't want to just be eating all nuts and we don't want to just be eating all vegetables. We want a healthy balance of soluble and insoluble fiber. And making sure that we do have a colorful plate. We want to aim for 30 different fruits and vegetables a week so that you have a diverse microbiome. I know a lot of people, when we think health, we think chicken, rice, and broccoli. But at the end of the day, eating the same thing every day is not enough to have a thriving gut. And this is when you have other like mega dysbiosis, like things like SIBO and stuff like that. This stuff is that their protocols are different, but like you said, the general just, hey, I have some bloating or constipation or something like that. You want to look at that. You want to make sure you're getting healthy fats, because one, our brain is literally made up of 60% fat. So you want to make sure that you're getting good sources of like avocados, nuts, seeds, healthy oils, avocado oil, coconut oil, good balance of all of that. Not overdoing it on omega-6s, but getting omega-3 oils. Or fatty acids, as well as you want to make sure that you are getting fermented foods, because those are the probiotics within our gut lining. So our gut is made up of these healthy bacteria. So making sure you're getting a serving of probiotics every day, as well as supplementing with a spore-based probiotic, because those ones have been proven to have the best survivability, because when you're I mean, digestion is it's a hard thing. It's all these gases and all these acids and everything, so you want to make sure that things are going from start to finish, as well as getting good quality protein. I think we do overdo it in the health scene of too much protein with a lot of things. We don't actually need as much as people are saying, but we do need protein, and we can't just eat all the vegetables. We need healthy fats, quality protein. And that's the thing I would definitely recommend investing your money into, is high quality proteins, because that's the thing that's full of antibiotics and injected. And so I would do grass-fed, organic, free range when you can. And then getting a diverse spectrum of colors on your plate from fruits and vegetables and all that. And then also getting the fermented food for sure.
All right, that's so true. The whole balancing, right? You can't have too much of anything, and yeah, that's really great tips. So for gut health, so what are some of the common like factors that how are the whole mindset, mental health connect with gut health, the relation?
Yeah, so when you have your gut and your brain are in constant communication with each other through this thing called the vagus nerve. And it is talking to each other without you knowing, right? You don't have to tell your heart to beat or your lungs to breathe or your food to digest. And actually 90% of the communication is from the gut to the brain. So if you're suffering from some brain fog, fatigue, depression, anxiety, something to look at is within your gut. Because when you have inflammation, like I said earlier, when you have inflammation in your gut, you also have it in your brain. And a lot of people aren't tying those two together. I mean, it's a very new field of study that's coming out right now, which I'm really excited about. But you can notice things like, when you have high neurotransmitters in your brain, that's called anxiety. When you have high neurotransmitters in your gut, that's called diarrhea and bloating. When you have low neurotransmitters in your brain, that's called depression. When you have low neurotransmitters in your gut, that's constipation. And through my research, through my practice with my clients, those two things always go hand in hand. So really, this importance of maintaining a healthy communication between the two is really key.
So interesting how the whole body, like they all work together, right? It's like not isolating one thing, and so that's pretty cool.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like the rainforest and everything, and like the ecosystems within our world and how they all work together. This is all about maintaining like keeping everything balanced and within our own internal ecosystems, and how we want to live like a healthy and happy life. And that's exactly through my programs what I'm trying to emphasize, is that keeping it balanced is so key. But it also, it doesn't have to be as hard as we kind of make it out. Like, I know I'm saying a lot of jumbo like science things and all that, but like it's really not as hard as Dr. Google is trying to make it. And I think once people can kind of understand that, is when you become empowered by your own health, and when you can start making the right decisions around all of that kind of stuff.
So true. So for the whole, eating healthier, balanced food, color food, and just like getting the brain to work with the gut. So what are, how the whole transition from the lifestyle, changing the whole lifestyle from how the person's eating previously to transitioning to this whole, healthier eating and maintaining that, being consistent with it. What are some of the ways that the transition phase, what are some of the ideas or routines or mindset suggestions that you give or you see from clients, the shift, how does that go?
Sure. So I first start with just understanding our habits. So it's really just getting back in tune with what your day-to-day routine is, because I think a lot of us, we don't even realize what we're doing every day. We're so busy, we're so caught up with life, we're not understanding. So it's really slowing down, and I'll start by simply tapping into your morning routine. So how do you wake up in the morning? A lot of people wake up rushed, they are constipated, they run out the door, they can't go to the toilet until they have a cup of coffee, and they're just rushing too much. So it's really just getting in tune. Okay, maybe give yourself 5 minutes in the morning and pick one habit and work from there. I think all these diets, they always fail because it's too much at one time, and that's just overload. So you need to pick one thing. Maybe it's waking up 5 minutes earlier. Maybe it's eating a plate of vegetables. Maybe it's drinking a little bit more water, and building from that practice. And once you get a stable foundation, it's not just like putting everything on top of each other. It's one, make it a habit, and then start adding things in consecutively from there.
Okay. All right. Those are good ideas as well. So for what are some of the routines or morning routines, habits, things that you do to help you to be consistent?
Yeah. So, I mean, my morning routine is the thing that saves me every single day. Is I wake up, I drink my water because you've been fasting for the last hopefully 8 hours, and I mean, you haven't had any water or anything. So, waking up, getting in my 50 ounces of water to kickstart peristalsis and get things going. Then I focus on starting slow. So I meditate, I journal, I do my tarot card readings, and then I go to the gym and I get my movement. I like to call it moodment because it elevates your mood and something that makes you feel good. And that's something we practice within my programs. Is it's not just, I think exercise is just an intimidating word. So moving your way in a way that you enjoy. And then I'll come home, I'll have my warm tea, and then I will get ready for the day, make a nice, easy to digest breakfast, and then get to work.
Awesome. That's really cool that you mentioned the tarot card and meditation. Actually just changed a different style of meditation from, the whole mindfulness meditation to transcendental meditation. That's like a really new experience for me. And you also mentioned tarot, and I recently just got a set. I was listening to this podcast. It was actually from somebody who also graduated from IIN, and I don't know if you know Sahara Rose. And so I listened to, oh, okay, yeah. Well, she was a guest lecturer in the course. So and she talks about her oracle cards, but I ended up getting a set of tarot cards, and now, but for my birthday next month, and my mother-in-law said she'll get me a set of oracle cards too. So I was like really excited about that.
That's great.
So like a couple of questions based on what you just said.
Sure.
So for meditation, what style of meditation are you doing?
Currently, I am focusing on box breathing and then breath of fire.
Okay. So, can you explain to the listeners like what's breath of fire and how to do that?
So I've been doing box breathing to kind of calm my nervous system down. So that's breathing in for the count of 4, holding for the count of 4, breathing out for the count of 4, holding for the count of 4. And just doing that within a box I'll do that for like 10 minutes. And then breath of fire is just when you are breathing out. So it's breathing out your nose without taking a breath in, doing that for 60 rounds, and then holding it at the bottom, and then taking a very deep belly breath in and holding it at the top, and then releasing, and then doing that for a cycle of 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. I love those as well. They're really good. Just one thing, if a woman is pregnant, then it's not recommended to do the breath of fire type of breathing and holding the breath. So as for the tarot cards, so how does that work? Like, how accurate is it?
I've actually my friend sent them to me for my birthday a few weeks ago, and they're quite accurate. It's very funny because I've been doing it where I will do my journal before I draw my card. So I get everything. I do like my morning, just like all my worries, all my celebrations, everything, just like a brain dump in the morning. And then I'll draw my cards, and it's been so accurate, like as to how I'm feeling and what's going on in my life at that time. So I've really, really enjoyed doing that as like a morning ritual.
That's so amazing. So how do you know what kind of questions to ask?
So it's not so much asking questions that I've been doing. It's just whatever I'm feeling. And in that moment, I'll take my breaths, I'll meditate, I'll just pick the card that draws to me, and then I read up on what that card is. So it's not so much me asking, hey, I don't know, a question like that. It just has to do kind of what I was journaling about that day or what I'm asking the universe for, right? So it's help with work, help with business, help with my mindset, things like that. And it just kind of gives me the validation.
Okay, interesting. Gotta try that. Okay. So for now transitioning to a different topic again. So for the mental health part,
Sure.
How do you work? So you work with mental health using diet as well, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
I think the way right now with Western medicine is that we are using medications first, and we're not really tapping into diet and lifestyle. And what the new research is finding out is that because of the gut-brain connection and everything in between, they are seeing mass amounts of improvement in people when they're helping with their diet to help fight inflammation, to get boosting their omega 3s, for boosting the vitamin D, choline, all these different kind of things in the brain health. They're seeing that that's actually helping beyond more than just the antidepressants.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. All right. So how long your sessions run? Like, I mean, in terms of how many months you work with your clients, like on average?
Yeah. So I have different packages. So I do one-on-one consulting, and that is a base of 3 months, because we do the reseed refeed program, which is like we want to weed out all the inflammatory foods, then we want to make sure we are populating it, then we want to refeed it. So it takes about 3 months. Plus, we want to work on the mindset stuff as well. And then I also have a starter program for people that just want to work on the elimination phase, and that is seasonal. I do that with people, and that's just 30 days long, and that has all the recipes, guides, ebooks, videos, all of that. That's a group program that people go through. And then I have my
the connection, I don't know from whose side, but you're freezing up. Hello?
Is that better?
You're still stationary in one place.
Is this okay? Oh no. There we go.
Okay, now it's better.
There we
All
go.
right, so let's backtrack a little bit. So for your one-on-one clients, we couldn't really hear from there.
Sure. So I do one-on-one consulting, and this is 90-day programs. We start with the basis of eliminating, then we reseed, make sure everything is clean, and then we refeed it with the right probiotics, plus lifestyle, environmental factors, and that's more of a unique plan for each individual. And then I offer seasonal group programming, which is 30 days of the elimination phase, and that has the all the recipes, all the guides, the plans, all of that, plus videos, support, PDFs, meditation kind of stuff. That's all within that bundle as well. And that comes every season. So winter, fall, spring, summer.
Very interesting. So how do people find your programs, and where can they search you on social media?
Yeah, so they can find me. All of my stuff is online at healing2happy.com. My Instagram handle is Laura Martin _H2H. And then Facebook is Healing to Happy, LinkedIn, Healing to Happy, Twitter, Laura Martin H2H, all the fun social media stuff.
Awesome, great. So what, before we end this interview, just one more question. What is one or a few takeaways that you've learned in like your readings or the program or just your experience that you like to share with listeners, like some lessons?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned overall is that you can't be at war with your body and win. And that's through understanding nutrition and lifestyle shifts. You really do set yourself free and can become that happy person that we all want to be. But you can't do that by hating your body or any of that stuff, or punishing it, or doing any of these quick fixes. That doesn't work. So it's celebrating your body for exactly where you're at, and understanding that food can be used as a tool for propelling you into your highest self. But you just have to first understand that and understand your self-love as well, so that you can make those choices.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Love everything that you shared with everybody. So yeah, people reach out to her if have any questions, and she has her website. It's really nice, and check out her website, and she's on social media. So yeah, she's available for people to reach out to her. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.